Since my computer got burned in the fire, I
Oh,
gotta kind of do my editing right here
we
when I
can talk
post this
about
to
that.
YouTube.
All
You know
right,
what
you
I mean?
said you said we're
Oh,
rolling.
it was
You
crazy.
know
All right,
what I'm talking about?
all right.
Oh, it was all
They
crazy.
try to take like four of my brains, but luckily the power source is right there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of Show and Tell After Dark, where we talk about all things art, all things music, all things Boston. Tonight we have a very, very, very special guest. He is to the right of me. His name is Shake Paper, right? Shake Paper.
Yeah, well, Shake Paper is the artist name, but as a director, I like to be addressed as Kenneth LaRue Wynn,
Kenneth LaRue Wynn.
please.
Period. And to the left of me, I have my dear friend Tata. And to the right of Mr. Kenneth Wynn, we have our other friend Mos. What's up, Mos?
Hey, what it do? What it do? It's your boy Most Generous. I'm back. Come meet the family.
You happy today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
trademark it, put it in stone.
So Kenneth, am I addressing you right now as you said the photographer? You're Kenneth.
Like as a professional, I want to be known as Kenneth LaRue Wynn. Kenneth
Okay.
or whatever. Shake Paper. We can get into that later.
Okay.
What other
I
what
just
other
want to
genres?
introduce. Yeah, I want to
gotta talk into the
introduce a
microphone.
little. I want to start off. Oh, my fault. Yeah, I want to.
No one heard any of that.
Don't worry.
You did not-
It's our little secret. Don't worry.
I'm gonna shoot y'all the audio.
I'm done.
Can you go into what are the genres you do? For the people who don't know, can you tell us like what the genres you do as an artist?
Genres as an artist.
Genres as an artist, so like you you're a director and what else?
Okay. Well, the film Into the Jungle, that particular genre, I would consider to be a drama.
Oh no, not that. I'm talking about the genres you do as an artist. So like you do directing, and what other artistry do you do?
Oh yeah, like your disciplines. You a rapper?
Well, no.
No. Okay.
Because that's a tricky answer. So, according to his question, originally I'm a writer. So, if I wouldn't be a director if I wasn't a writer.
The two
I
go hand
wouldn't
in
be
hand.
a rapper if I wasn't a writer.
I see.
You see me? So, this is if nobody didn't know, and if they need to be informed about a technique of taking the time to be a writer, to study, and to be equipped with different information in life. There was a time I was 18 when I wrote Into the Jungle, this book, this film. I was in prison, so what else you gonna do with your time when you wasted it and you realize, wow, this is what society let me do. Because at that time you might blame society because you don't really know how you got like that. You have to research this, right? So we was gonna get some schooling in prison. At this time, there was Pell Grant so we can get college. So I'm 18. Bill Clinton canceled the Pell Grants. You can check these facts, everything. So I showed up the day for schooling that day. So at that particular day, I said, what else could I be in prison, other than a basketball player, right? Or work out. You can be a writer because you have this time. So I didn't want the time to go to waste. So at that point, I at least tapped into some energies from wherever it was, from spiritual to noble silence to all of these things to learn how to write. Reason I went that long in it to say, as you become a writer, you need these experiences to be great one day. Because at that point, I only could tell y'all about the hood, Into the Jungle, story y'all have. But as we come at about 30 years later, we're at the point where you say, all right, you got to study a lot of essence of life to be able to write an impactful piece.
Yes, you do.
And that's how you become a writer. But you, a writer, when you wrote that first love letter, you heard?
Right.
And so we were talking, and you also produce. You also picked up a camera. So do you do photography or are you strictly like cinematography?
Definitely cinematography. Shout out to all the photographers out there. It's a genre of its own, and it's a study of its own. You wouldn't want to take any credit that I ain't take time to really dig into. So big up to them.
And so, out of all those things that you do, you say writing is your most passionate.
Writing is what made it all happen.
So that's what made it happen. Are you more passionate about writing or directing?
Writing.
Yeah. And the genres that you write. So we talk about Into the Jungle, which you have to give us the spec on that, but also you I think we talked and you wrote some like adventure type scripts in books, right? So what other genres do you do or passionate about?
I can take y'all into that real quick. So when I wrote Into the Jungle, this is around a time where things like, you like artists like Sidney Sheldon, the story with Whitney Houston, Waiting to Exhale, things of them type of books. They came out, and I was kind of seeing, what I wanted to do. And a brother asked me, do I write hood books? So he kind of messed up with me right there because I didn't know how to answer the question. And I didn't want to be connected to like Donald Goins and like glorifying some type of life because I wanted to tell this story about, our youth, and I wanted people to understand it from my perspective. So then I began to try to write stories with a broader, connection so I can reach out to different people, of course,
That makes
other
sense.
than just the hood story.
What is Into the Jungle? You keep referencing it. For the people who don't know, Into the Jungle is a story about what?
So Into the Jungle is a story that, and I think, from a personal touch, just to tell y'all, and I learned this from when I wrote the book. I passed this book around prison as I wrote it at 18. So there was people who, might have been passing me in hallways, people who are actually in the movie itself, people who were really in jail for murder.
Got it.
So they passed this book around as I written it. And they was waiting for, what happened to Darryl? Did Darryl do that in criminality? Did he? Who killed his brother? It's the chick. I know it. So they, I'd be like, JJ got it. Or, he got chapter 8. I'll get it to you, but I'm still writing chapter 10.
You're a real author.
Yes.
You was really writing in there.
At that time, you see me? So to me, to play cards, now, I wouldn't play cards as a teenager, you heard? I wouldn't play cards as a teenager. Is you picking me up here? My fault. I'm sorry.
I want to
So-
hear this thing when it come out. Full thing.
So-
It's going to be good.
I wouldn't play cards as a teenager because I thought it was a waste of my time. I
feel you.
felt like I fucked up in life, And that shit hurts. You say, damn, and you want to blame people, so I want to tell that story so it won't happen to them. Because I really felt like some of it was on the parents. We hoodwinking our parenting. And we expect us to get all these truths. And we have to take the time to get the information to pass along properly to the next generation. And we can't force feed. We got to know what we're doing, And you got to read the signs. So I felt like that was missing in something, meaning that there is structure for us there. There was things I seen and I look back. Maybe it was a Muslim brother that grabbed your hand before you killed somebody in a church. And this is real talk. You see me? This is real talk, So there might have been an occasion, where my life was saved before it was even necessary to get me here by somebody that I knew how he was thinking.
Yeah.
You see me? So I just wanted to connect wherever he was at because I knew he knew something I didn't know. But that wasn't nothing like an uncle could tell me, you see me, or somebody else, because maybe their parenting or their strategy was just different. Not equipped for this new, and this is the message right here to remember. It's not really their fault. They just underestimate the weapon that's against our culture. So they underestimate the power of it. That's it. You see me? So they might have fell asleep. If you remember the wave, it was the crack era, kind of made a division, So a lot of our families was on crack. If you wasn't on crack, you had to kind of go look and do your own thing. But you was a fortunate breed because you knew better. You said, I'm going to teach my kids. You can't worry about what's going on right now. You see me? As the world turns, it's going to affect your kids because, it's in our faces. So now, it's like, I feel like there's got to be a more cultural awareness. That's all.
Right.
And less selfishness because you might not think it affects your child, but you know, it's a circle of life.
Right.
And Mos, you're here. You're playing his main character in this film, correct?
Yeah.
What's your experience with Shakes himself, and also you embodying this character in the story that he's trying to tell?
Oh man. So I basically have to go to like the Genesis where like when I'm like
Who is your character? Let's start there. What's your character's name?
yeah. So he goes by the name of Daryl, and Daryl he's like adolescent. He doesn't get into those street things or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But basically his brother is murdered, and it devastated him to the point where it was like a part of him was like like his part of his innocence was killed. So that enabled him to like kind of navigate into like the street life where he had to like sell weed with his friends and all, and he had to witness a lot. He also lost a lot of friends on the way. So it so in a way like the character like I feel like the character is me like in real life too, because that's kind of like how I was like growing up in Boston. You know what I'm saying, like just from just from the traumas that you see like on the streets of
Good.
sorry, no, you're good. From like the traumas that you see on like Blue Hill Avenue or elsewhere, like you feel like this is all that's left. It's like there's really no like opportunity to get out, or there's no way to actually like you know use your art to kind of like speak out, or to like show everybody that this is what you do.
Excuse
Yes.
me, brother.
This is what you're capable of.
Yeah, so like the character in a way, like I felt like I was really it felt like a mitten. It fit right into my personality, and I fit right into like the traits of the character, because even at that time I was young. Like if you watch the movie, like I'm like 21 years old. Like I'm 27 now, so just looking at me, yeah, just looking at myself, it's like a ghost. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like it's like 20 years from now I could be whatever, and I could look at it and be like, damn, like that could be like my son. That could be somebody. Could be somebody's son. And I'm really like reflecting like my character, to people like who don't even have to look like me, but people who are from that type of like impoverishment, from that I'm sorry, who are struggling in that type of area. So it's like it's it's beautiful, it's magic. So like Shake Pepper, he showed me like literally like he showed me all the angles. He showed me from like the summary, like the backbone to the character, and it just like from there on it was just like magic. Like I didn't have no difficulties at all. You know what I'm saying? And from there on we just been working on all types of like novels on the side, and things that are coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope when you can play a character that you kind of have some type of connection to.
Yeah, makes it more like realistic from the people that are watching it. Shake Paper, are you so this is not the only book that you've written.
Well, as of now, I feel like it's the only book. Oh, excuse me. As of now, it feels like it's the only book I've written because as I might have talked on the side to the producer, I had a little tragedy just about a week ago. So.
Oh, that was only a week ago?
Maybe 10 days now.
10 days?
Yeah, it had to be more than a week.
So it's fresh.
Yeah.
But
The 20th. So
yeah.
we're the second.
Oh, so yeah, about 11 days.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I had a fire, at where I rest at, and also where I was doing some of the last minute creativities to connect a lot of dots from music to Into the Jungle to all my books. So this is why I say I can't even answer the question and say I have them because I don't. Although I do have them in memory, I had a comfort, but it was kind of being hindered by procrastination.
Yeah.
Because I had a comfort knowing that in 3 weeks, that's all it takes, though, that they're just finished. You see me? So I still had a comfort with that. So that comfort been stripped away, and it's a torment and comfort that was taken from like a maniac writing perspective.
Yeah.
You wouldn't understand if you don't like really take that shit to another level because you're writing from your heart and your gut.
Right.
You see me? At the end of the day, you realize the way you got here been through that same structure from being burnt. So that's how you got here in the first place.
Right.
You heard? So you just try to change the science. Because that's what perception is. Like, we're just human. And sometimes we think it's all personal and we think this art is ours and it's really not. You see me? It's your job to give it. And you know, once you start getting paid and you take it all personal, then it gets diluted, of course, and all that. But you still can be a greater artist because the platforms, and that's part of being an artist, handling the energy of humans and be able to still come out great. That's an artist too. See, that all that is an artist package. People just think you got to be good.
Yeah.
We all good. We run a race against millions. So anyway, you know, back to recreating after you being burnt, you know
literally.
that, you know, there's only two options with perspective. And it's crazy. Like, you know, use an apple as a perspective, you know, depending on how you see the apple, high or low, you see a different perspective. Am I right? It doesn't even really matter about the bite of the apple because you're going to bite it a different way because you're looking at it underneath the shade, right? Different shades, trees, there's so many different ways that apple can blend with the sun, right? So the perspectives is crazy. But you're still going to bite that apple according to your perspective. Now, if you fly above the apple and you see a different perspective, like a worm at the top, you thinking that apple's no good, right? Because your perspective. That's all we're working with right there as humans. It's really not that deep when it comes to us. It's really about all this other shit that's going on in the scientific world, in the spiritual world, to me, my opinion. You see me?
Yeah.
And we just ain't connected to it yet. So sometimes we're just caught up into our emotions and sentiments, and it's natural.
Yeah. I can see how devastating that is just because, like, I write things in my notes, so I have everything on a cloud. But I can see...
I heard somebody saying something, heard over here was saying something about I always go somewhere, and I was looking at her like, oh, excuse me. She said something about she puts everything in some calculated thing. I'm sorry, I'm nosy. But, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, everything got to go somewhere now, boy, because I'm going to lose it again, you know?
Yeah, but
you
pen
have
and
to learn
paper
the
is like
lessons you
intimate.
need.
Yeah, but pen and paper is like intimate. So see that to like actually get burned, and we're talking about years and years and years of like writings and
this
books.
is what I'm telling you, and that's where
Yeah.
shape paper come. I know y'all wanted to ask me that, so I could just jump on into that.
Hey,
so that's
proactive with it.
that's where the shape paper come from. So even just now, me and Daryl had to sit in the car and rewrite on paper. He tried to get on his phone, and I said, you know what, I can't visualize like this, and this is where shape paper come from. He says, I thought shape paper was just about money, like paper and money, transactions and shit. I said, well, it's ambiguous like that, you know.
Right.
Youth these days, man.
You know, it's really the connectivity to the paper, which is wood, you see me, which is come from the earth. So you're right, and then it is, to me, I believe there's some type of tangibility that I might have created and established through my art. So it's just hard for me to shake it through like writing it in a text form. But I can do that real easy, but just the connectivity as far as writing for a long amount of time and being engaged, I feel more, you know, when I write it, opposed to just on the computer. That's all. But you live in a new world, and you got to transcend, baby, because, you know, that's just life.
Yeah.
You can't be using your human things all the time to cripple you, only if they make you better. That's my philosophy.
Embrace technology.
Yeah, exactly.
How is something like having a fire like that? Like, I don't know I know what I want to ask. I just don't know how to word it. And that's why I admire writers, because it's so much that goes into writing, and it's so much that goes into telling a story. I cannot tell a story for the life of me. For the freaking life of me. And it's so crazy because I was at Stop and Shop the other day, and it was this lady who walked past, Kasima and I, she was bald and she was this tall lady. She was very beautiful. And I don't know how we got talking, but she was basically telling me that she teaches, because I was like, I need to find somebody to teach me how to tell a story. And that day in the grocery aisle, she was like, I teach 4-year-olds and I teach 70-year-olds how to tell stories and how to tell stories effectively. And I was like, I can't tell a story. And she was like, you can tell a story. She was like, everybody can tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way in which you're taught to tell the story or in the way in which you tell the story. So for you, the first question I want to ask is, how will that change the way you document your text or your thoughts rather moving forward? Will you have like somewhere where you put them on the computer and you write them? Will you write them down into journals and keep one somewhere else? Or how will you document your
What's crazy is
papers from now on, your thoughts from
what's
now
crazy is I kind of did that times 10 through this whole process. So you got to think, even when I was right there, your documents, the backups burned.
Mm-hmm.
You heard
Oh,
the writing
wow.
to the writing burned.
The backup burnt.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Woo!
you had computers on top of computers at
Oh,
that
my-
time. You know, they was all, you never could imagine a situation where they all go at once. So,
Yeah.
That was
That's
trying to
deep.
work.
do you see me? The
Yes,
backups
sir.
to the backups burnt.
That's deep.
You see me?
That
So
is deep.
my notes burnt, my papers in the drawer burnt, my books that I wrote, and maybe I don't want to go that deep, but I
Yeah.
don't care. You know, maybe before I was being lugged off by a CEO, you know, for mistreating me,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest complaint was, motherfucker, make sure y'all get my books.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, homie, get my books.
You made
I'm
sure.
alright.
Yeah.
Get my book. I got you, dog. I got you. I'm gonna make sure they got my shit.
Those are your treasures.
You see
huh?
me?
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea, you know me, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm 19. I'm gonna be out soon. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
But I need to take my history with me. You see me? So that's all that mattered. And that's so all the way to this day is that saying, I lost chapters before. I lost, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you learn to back up from that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just gotta you always just gotta be proactive, like y'all said, and just back up and you learn from the thing, and you can't say that you can't lose it again.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see me? So we didn't lose Into the Jungle. Imagine that. So it's only been out 3 months, right?
Yeah,
It really was a.
Oh, plug it. Where is that? Where can we find that?
It's on YouTube. Into the Jungle, not into, but enter the
Oh,
jungle.
enter the jungle.
Because sometimes people put into.
I thought it was into.
No.
Enter. ENTER.
Yes, for
The
clarity, The Jungle on YouTube. It's an amazing movie, classic. I have friends and family who might haven't watched it. I had a best friend pull up on me, old school best friend. He pulls up on me, very dramatized. He says to me, bro, his eyes is red. Not really sure why we're not friends like that no more. Emotions, right? Whatever
Yeah.
it is, still love him. He says, bro, my PlayStation, I just lost the controller. Me and my brother had a fight and cracked my screen, my only PlayStation. You know I'm heated. And I said, well, I got something to help you feel better, bro. He said, yeah, because that's bullshit. We always try. I said, yeah, so if you need something, I got it for you. He says, yeah, I know you always got a good word or two. He says, give it to me. I said, well, I was in a fire, right? 2 days ago, right?
I'm gonna lay it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, after all the whole 9, I said, and I'm good.
Right.
You heard?
Right.
You lost the
Your
controller.
ass lost a damn PlayStation controller.
Yeah, you see me? And I
you
said,
tripping.
I'm saying good. And I looked at him in his eyes and I said, I just told you that so you can feel better.
Right.
And I might not even told you, right? But I didn't want to hold it back if you felt that bad today, right? So dig me. He says, yeah. The movie, oh yeah, I want to support you and I wanted to watch it. And I said, slow down. I said, you don't got to support me because I'm going to have fans. You see me? You don't have to support me. You should be watching that movie for you. Don't watch it for me.
Right.
And when you're ready to watch it for you, then that's going to be the right time. That's how you learn about marketing, promotions, and how to separate the energies. So people might be looking at views. You can pay for views. You see me? But you can't pay for business. You can't pay for profit. you can't pay for understanding how to, target your audience. You have to study that.
Right.
So that's called analytics. So the rest
That's
is all just, emotions. You don't put out a T-shirt and call yourself Tommy Hilfiger and then realize black people are buying your T-shirts.
Right.
And whatever, I'm not going to even go there. But,
But look, Shay, my next question was, as a writer and as a storyteller, because in order for you to put a movie together, like, you got to be able to tell a story. What are the elements of a good story, or what makes up the elements of a good writer?
Are you following the standard hero's journey, rising plot action, falling action, or do you have your own style? What is it going?
Definitely, probably like overstand that style, but then sometimes when you think you're doing something new, you try to use some basics to keep your creativity in check. So I use some formulas in the back of my mind, but it's almost like warming up for layups. You lay up so many times, you don't even think about that part. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I play ball.
Yeah, so you just that's layups. You know what I'm saying? Layups at this degree, but you never want to forget how some simplicity, like layups or outlining, is important. Like I taught him just maybe 2 hours ago, for his script that he's trying to formulate, and so me as a writer, just to give me some credit and then give you guys some credit too, to have the nerve to say that you can't write. So while you was having time to figure out other things to get gifted, I didn't have many choices because of what I told you. So therefore I tapped into something that takes time. Right. That's all. You read, you're going through history. I gave you a quick history lesson, real quick, just building outside. You heard, and that's just because you got to take the time to read and read it again and study it from communication. So the beginning of my quest was I had to learn what's wrong with me. And not, like, why did I do this? Why did I choose and accept? I knew I was better. I knew I could do better. But how did I let the elements get me? How did I let the temptation of the media, how did these structures and how did my inability to process and not have a good sword to get me sharper right there, how did that affect such terrible decision? Because at that time I knew I could have been in there forever. Right. And I was willing to be in there forever. And I knew this. See me? So I thought not being loved was a good excuse to kill for my people, for my family, because people was trying to kill me. So that's a good enough justification for me. You see me? And it's most youth. I mean, it's the same army type thing that you ask us to do in war. You see me? It's the same type of mechanism. This is just with kids that might have mental health.
That's right.
You see me?
It is the exact same thing.
And these things, and you just throw them up in there. You see me?
It's the exact same thing.
So people don't understand it on this degree. So this story is a skirmish of a broader understanding. But I had to begin with that. And that's why I chose to do it. I attempted other scripts with them and rehearsals. But I realized, let me tap into a genre that I know like the back of my hand as I learn this thing. And then we're going to get going. So that's all it was.
I know a good literary rule that people use is like promise, payoff. No. Promise, progress, and payoff. You see the faults in the character, right? And you promise that they get better. And you see the progress without the movie, right? And then the payoff is like at the end, in the conclusion, this person overcame like their issues. Without spoiling, could you tell us like how Enter the Jungle kind of does that for Daryl?
Yeah, I mean, it did just what you said. It did it. So I didn't use that formula. That was amazing. That that was kind of just what it did. Did have all of that. So, what was the first one? Is it the promise?
Promise. You see the faults in this character, the thing that they're trying to achieve, overcome.
So the promise would be, he loses his brother, and he's immediately coming between a particular crossfire I'm familiar with, which is, you're devastated. So that's the first chapter in my book and first chapter in the movie.
So hurt,
trauma. So wait, you wrote the book first, then you made the movie?
I wrote the book at 18.
Okay. And you made the movie?
That's the book that was passed around. And then some of those people you're going to see in the movie read that while we was in prison.
Ooh.
So if you ever looked them up and you ever had to do backstories,
I can't wait to watch it.
Really get real.
I can't wait.
It's a
So
real
ask them
Boston
individuals, and they're
film.
gonna be able to contrive. Some of these dudes is in jail for murder right now. Everything I love, and some people has passed away. Not to mention the story of Into the Jungle, to take y'all to something that might be called like visionary, because we all have traits and we all can tap into these things, but you have to tap in and identify with it. So me, I've been spooked by too many circumstances that they might call, what they call it, coincidences. So, you know, it's really, you know what I mean? So I know there's something with this going on, because you tend to be right too many times.
Yep.
Oh,
You
yeah.
see me? And you tend to see it. And I could walk a friend along with it, and he might think I'm being a little extra, but then as he sees what I'm saying and as I report it, before it gets reported, he's amazed. And this is with numbers. So I see ones. I don't know if y'all know about
Those
numbers.
are your angel numbers.
Yeah, so, you know, so things of this nature, we don't want to get into that, but that's how I learned how to tap into the energy of writing, which is in your energy, but you might not have time, because of course society makes you have to cope every day.
Yeah.
So I say, if I wasted my time in this type of situation, and to be honest, I also continued to give back to destruction, which might have been some of the hard knock life to get us to here, because, hear me out. So I wrote it at 19, but at the same time, I still chose to sell crack in the neighborhood. Now hear me out. Like, that was a very conscious, so like if you do it conventionally, that's kind of like you doing it out of, you just learning life and you just need some sneakers. But
Right.
when you do it habitually, it's more of a conscious, because you know the dangers, you know the consequences.
Right.
You see me? And you also know what you might be giving up for yourself, trying to be God in poverty's backyard.
Right.
Hear me? So people, we come from Malcolm X. I went to that same prison at that same, the same prison. You see me? So there's a structure, there's a wave, there's a pattern. You don't even know how your genes is connected. You don't even know who this man slept with. You see me over his run. You see me? You don't even know who's connected to who. You see me? And these sciences is way deeper to our traits than we realize. It's called personality genetics.
Yeah.
You hear me? So if your mama was, been through all of this, and
Right.
you see me, and your mama's mama, so we blame our black people, and I understand, but y'all don't know how y'all are blaming. Y'all be
Right.
like critical, like you don't understand. You be like
Right.
stupid.
It's a
And I'm like,
science.
yeah, it's deeper than that. And I'm not saying give them a pass, because it's also your auntie got to kick you out for you to pay them bills on your own too. So I understand the
Story
mix.
of my life.
You see, but
That's my
I
story.
understand the mix.
Yes, sir.
But that you shouldn't be insensitive to the structure that is designed against, your Darryls.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I just identify how power is. Take the time to build with your kid, look him in the eye for a change, and hear what he's saying, and hear his cry out too, though, and learn how to tackle that, not by your frustration, by getting the knowledge. That's all. You know what I'm
So
saying?
true.
Before it happens.
So
So I
true.
made that movie so you can realize there is going to be some part on him, and there's going to be some part on the family, and that's what the movie shows. He still had to make the decision. You still just born in the womb, and that's it. The mama barely own you. If you mistreat your kids, somebody knock on your door tomorrow.
That's
You see
right.
me?
That's
So
right.
it's really
That's
more
right.
than just you raising that kid.
That's right.
You see me? Because you might not be as equipped as you think. You're not taking the time. They know that. They can't say that to your face. They help you.
So is Darrow's? I know I was talking to you outside about antagonists, right? To your protagonist, Darrow's the protagonist. Is his antagonist a person, or is antagonist a situation that he's in?
Situation that he's in. All definitely. Most a person is a situation, because 5 persons make a situation. You see me? Easy. So his situation is he has the streets, and he has people that are used to responding to this type of problem a certain way. So he has to decipher what's best for him at this time, and what's going to be the difference in his life. Because at this point, it's really that simple. It's really tricky because one mistake can change the narrative, son. You see me?
So will the antagonist be the streets, like
The
what, the
streets
culture?
and the collective thing. Just the music alone. I don't want to attack the music, but I want to attack the music because just the music alone is a very, it's a very low censored music, and we don't understand that it's really a science to what it could do to our sense of
That's right.
of our mindsets.
DNA.
Right.
And I know this because I watched the transition, but we're not going to go there. We're just going to stick to Daryl. So if he has all these things that's going against him, you definitely have high frequencies, which will be coming from, dancing, your mother, your auntie praising you, glad that you got that first job. I'm doing those type of things, but you have to be smart because every individual is different. So y'all have to collectively look and say, you seen Daryl yesterday? Yeah, he seemed like over that Jamie thing. Let him come on out there. So I'm going to talk to him about something. Y'all want to move to Cambridge? Right? Because they moved to Cambridge in the movie, but Cambridge was just across the body of water.
You proud of that movie.
Oh,
You proud to be there.
But Cambridge was just a body of water so he couldn't really escape the streets. So they knew he still had to do his job.
Right.
You see me? And that's that's for the youth. Not to say at the end of the day you can't blame your mama, your daddy. You can come out there and just be right on the street. You still got most of the responsibility, son.
right.
You see me? But I just want to say to the parents, come on with the insensitivity, man. Y'all, gear up a little better. That's all.
Very true. Very true.
Let me ask you some questions for the writers and the cinematographers, and maybe like even producers or now. Pre-production, production, and post-production. Most you would know that even pre-production, trying to get people together, trying to get everyone, put them into the places, get the actors, get the actresses, is hell. At least it was for us.
It is.
Now your experience with doing with pre-production, in production, and post-production, how was that? How was the whole flow of making this movie into?
You want to go?
No, I don't know who he was asking because he looked at like his eyes.
Well, you guys were in it together. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
but your eyes, you just kind of like.
Sorry, I'm space-side.
You grilled me.
I'm sorry. Oh,
So I didn't know. I thought it was with Daryl, but then you looked at me at the end. Like,
well, because me and Most had experiences like I put some together before, and I've also had some failings.
well, before he go, I can do it in one answer and let him go. I'm gonna give you one word.
Okay.
Writer. I already explained that. That was all the writing. Do you hear me? The managing of art, the managing of emotions, the managing of character traits. That's what you're still writing. Because you got to understand them and how they fit and how you can, how you can work. I know a Friday warrior from a 2-3 month warrior. I know who's gonna be there before their character traits. And that's all part of writing.
But organizing people for pre-production.
Writing.
Okay. Most, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, exactly. Writing, because it's like when you have a character, right? You want to be able to like select particular people who may fit that, who may go into that character, and also like you also have to from like pre-production, like when we was putting this together, like it took like years, like over 5 years. So like we lost a lot of people. We even
Just
lost,
off the weight.
bro. Like
Some passed away. Some didn't want to show up no more because the Weekend Warrior. And then
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I know I hit you with some terms, but I was gonna get back to you.
I
You
got
know what I'm saying? Some of the Weekend Warriors. I have this. I'm about to shoot something in New York with a friend, and I gotta drag him through every detail so he can get with me
Yeah.
because he's concerned about all those parts. You see me? And I say that's what the writer do. Not just a writer-director's thing, because a director is a writer because he had to be a writer first. To me,
It's a little different roles though.
yeah, it is different roles, exactly. But you organizing a lot of material, so you understand who can do what, and you got to manage your capability. Even if it's just giving them a ride to the store, that's part of the script. Yeah. You understand she might need that. Do you see me?
Because you
That
wrote,
touch.
directed. Did you produce it?
I
Just
edited
everything?
it, I mastered it, and I also tripod some of my own shots
So
that I'm in.
so directed, cinematographed it. Oh, some parts of it.
He's even in the
Jack of all
film,
trades,
too.
huh?
Yeah.
I had to play it, so I had to play the bad guy. I didn't want to be in it, but there was nobody else to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, M. Night
Nobody else could
Shyamalan
play
did, okay.
me. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you gotta do the job. you
And I
gotta
could
do it
depend
yourself.
on me.
Gotta do it.
I knew I had to close because you get through issues where you might say, "Yo, remember the hat? You got that hat?" And then you see him in a week. He be like, "Man, that was my cousin's hat." I was like, "Bro, I thought you were gonna keep the hat." I said, "Next time, I'm collecting things in the bag." You know what I'm saying? And you're taking props. So at least as my character, if I need to reduplicate the scene, I can count on me. I knew I had the
Right.
clothing, so
Right.
I said, "Damn, I have to chalk this up as a win." You see me?
That's
Because
right.
I could depend on me. I don't want to have to tripod myself, but I did to pull it off.
For aspiring writers and directors, probably more like directors. It's like people in Moses' situation where he wrote something. I'm not completely sure if he wants to direct it, but he's trying to put together Tales of Nubian Square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I've been on the project with them, but we've struggled with getting dates together, getting the people there. You know what I mean? That's a thing where a lot of us like kind of struggle. What would you give for advice for people who are trying to put together a project for the first time?
Well, that's deep. So I mean, first time I guess I would start with sacrifice, just because that's gonna be the biggest element. That's gonna be how you do and move. So to take you not two things, give me 2 minutes. So my buddy Quentin Lewis, he's about to put out a movie called Frosty. So he asked me a crucial question. He said, "Well, these black guys and whatever guys and all these people with these positions in our city, they have access to what we need." He says, "But why ain't doing anything? Why ain't putting nothing out? Why? What's going on?" So first I had to give him his biggest credit to my man Quentin Lewis, because he taught me a lot of things I know, and you're gonna see in a minute from his movie Frosty. So I tell him, because they don't got you. He says, "What?" So I break down. I'm not going to break down the math that I had to break to him, a little personal. But I said, that's why. He don't understand. I said, "Bro, you got to look at your gift and who you are, because you sacrificed."
Right.
And that's
Right.
the difference.
Yeah.
They still got to own their homes. They still think, look at where we at. I'm homeless. You see me? For art. You see me?
Right, right.
But I'm still geared up for the bag. I'm still geared up from what I might got to do to win for my children. It's just not as clear as yours, because you didn't sacrifice. You secured a different bag. Kudos to you. Kudos to us. But we trying to work against each other, and that's where the crab in the basket come. We each feel like we stepping on each other. It's hard to get over that scenario in our head, but we truly need each other, because I've been in the streets and I know these stories, and I took the time to derive information on how to tell a story and how to get at the people. And other people have too, but they might not sacrifice as much. Do you get me? Because that's where it comes from, sacrifice. That's time. Who you going to take it from? 24 hours a day. Who you take it from? Your kids.
Right.
You got to survive. You got to eat. You got to feed your plate. These are, this is
also to
math.
feed the
This is
passion.
what make you a God body. When
Yeah.
you can math all of this out. That's why I said writer. Because to me, a writer is a potential God. Now, what make me not a God? Because I ain't spiritual with it, and because, I still might smack the shit out of somebody. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But to me, that might make me right now
You
not.
gotta smack people.
I'm sorry. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. But you
You
do.
wiped out a couple of people.
Yeah,
I
but-
would call that smacking.
But all I'm saying is, that's, to me, I wouldn't profess, because I would want to be humble. I want nobility and humility to be more addressed correctly before I take on some type of turn. But those are the works of a God.
Yeah.
You see me? Of a God body. Spiritual thinking, math, connected with your body, your earth. Somebody might say, well, spirituality, somebody might say spirituality and science is two different things. They don't know what they're talking about
Right.
yet. I'm not
Right.
going to go with them and fight with them over that. But absolutely, they're not connected all the way on that thing. But, you need to be, I heard them building over there, nosy again. But, you need to be somewhat naive to continue a certain path. It's just
deep.
necessary. How you gonna travel to the moon knowing you gonna die before you get there? Because somebody would take that trip to Jupiter one day, and they don't know for sure.
Yeah, Elon's gonna do it. But also, what's next for Shakespeare? Like in
Tales of Nubian Squared that just been certified like
Yes,
4 hours ago.
Yes, sir.
For the simple fact,
hell yeah.
just because you know, I don't wanna drive another tractor trailer by myself. That's for fact.
What you mean? Oh, like write something and
I had
direct it
to
all over
write,
again?
shoot, pay,
Yeah, right. It's a lot.
organize, to the point where, let's get personal now, to the point where it might be like, I might seem like, or get an energy, and correct me if I'm wrong, even the people who are part of the energy, and I apologize if I explain some things wrong to some of my cast. I'm just going to tell about my feelings. And so it's, you know, it might be a point where you seem like, some people might think that you owe them because they helped you,
Right.
which is natural. So remember these
Tit for tat,
delicacies. Yeah, tick for tack delicacies. We're human, so I respect the delicacy
Right.
because I'm delicate in some instances, right? We call them pet peeves sometimes. We give them names, right? You're like, I don't like it, you know. So whatever. So I gotta respect the next person's delicacy. To say, even if I don't understand or agree with it, or we haven't talked about it because we're poor communicators, you see what I'm saying? At the same time, I want to try to put the most positive spin on it. Because it's so easy just to whim and say, you know, talk about the bad part of your delicacy.
Yeah.
And then then just come off insensitive. Am I right? That's all you gain. I mean, did you watch Joe Budden do it?
I don't know.
All right, whatever. But anyway, I shoot shots. I'm sorry, but you know, because he's a great interviewer. But sometimes you just gotta, remind yourself of that because we're humans, and I feel like us as Black people, we're less forgiving.
Yes, sir.
Because we just been through more.
Yes, sir. Yes,
back
sir.
to that element. You see me? So you be like, So that's all. You know, you just want to address that if you could and make you an artist. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah.
Or make you good at what you do.
So
But Wendy Williams was good at what she do.
She was good.
But what happened at the end of the day, the
She was
crumble.
good.
You see me? So
yeah.
you good at exposing people when you live in a glass
A weird
house.
ass life.
So
yeah.
it's a weird thing. It's like a catch-22, you know? Do you really want to be famous? You see what I'm saying? Do you? You don't even know yet.
Right, you don't even know. That's right. You don't know what it takes.
Until you get there, at least.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Then we see how you deal with it. Because how do you know how you're going to deal with being burnt in the fire until you get burnt?
So you were saying that you just got certified. Are you so when I said what's next, are you working on different projects? Are you gonna take this movie and submit it to local films or films in general, international
Well,
films?
don't hurt my feelings right now. But you did. So the movie potentially would be stuck on YouTube because I burnt everything, raw footage, potential for re-uploads. So, I had to let that just go down as a classic and move on. I have been getting reached out before the movie. I don't want to live in the past, to tell you the truth. I don't want to see me cry. You heard? So I want to move on with great memories. And that's where Tales of Nubian Square come in, because it's going to make me engage with this brother. And a good 50% of the engagement is fortified by his loyalty and his innocence, where he's not been tainted to the point where he's not able to still grow from the process of what we all been through, to at least me feel like he can be greater from this point on, and I want to help him be greater if I could. Because he has gave me his time and his energy, and how can I reward him? And he's still there, but the other cast member, they're not sitting there. She or him could be sitting there, and I would feel the same way about them, even though in their disappearance. But just to say at the same time that it is what it is, I only can flow with the wave that's in front of me.
And for those who don't know, Tales of Nubian Square, Mos, give us a quick summary of it for what people can look out for.
Yeah, so Tales of Nubian Square is basically like a thriller drama. It's going to be basically all the African spiritual deities related to African culture. I'm going to personify them as actual human beings, and they all get different stories. And also, there's going to be different stories that tell like about a scenario and different ways where they can end. So it's going to be completely fun. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, and it's also going to be black owned. So you know what I'm saying? Me and Shea Paper were working on that, and we was actually today we was in the car. We was working on like the plot because I've been working on it for about like 2.5 years, even in the beginning of COVID, and I remember to go into like early questions, bringing people together. I realized that it was hard, and because it's like not everybody can see your vision. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I had. I had to learn that the hard way.
And doing anything by yourself is hard.
Yeah, that's So and I was just like, all right, I need to like go back to the drawing board and think like, yo, who can I really like bond with like when it comes to like writing, how or who can I go to for like guidance on like visual arts. Yes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and also coming to family, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so that's why I love like when artists come together, like
me too.
You know, because it's like we all like have a common denominator and like a common interest in a way. You know, it's whether it's just networking or just telling about like our stories, you know, just being Bostonians and black. You know what I'm saying? Because that's like community that, and it's like, and I remember I'm like, yo, infrastructure. That's what we need right here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna love to see this collaboration. And I know you guys are back at the writing process because you guys are revamping the writing. Now, if people want to say they're interested in this project, they want to either be an actor or actress, or they want to volunteer in some way and help out, where can they reach you guys?
Oh, me.
Oh, me. Pick up the mic.
So before he tells you all of that, so I did want to bring an idea, so it'd be good to bring to Daryl the idea on film. So I thought.
Who is Daryl?
Sorry,
Oh,
God damn.
I'm sorry.
You call him Mos.
He calls me Daryl all
No,
the time.
I'm so connected to the character.
Right, to
I
the
call
character.
him
Daryl.
Oh my goodness.
Daryl.
Oh my goodness. I do
I'm like,
that.
that's your real
I
name?
give
Yo,
people-
but no,
Yeah.
That's how they get connected. That's how they get connected.
Even my ex or even my daughter would be like, "Is that Daryl?" I was like, "That's Daryl, baby."
Daryl.
Like
I love
she
it.
know, you
I
know what
love
I'm saying?
Even Renata, yo, shout out to Renata
Renata Huggins.
I always call her mom. They're like, hey mom, yo,
Yeah.
we making fried
That's
chicken
how
on
you.
Saturday.
That's how you get connected.
Hey,
That's right.
So I think I don't know if y'all see the film. What y'all think? I think it was a beautiful strategy, connectivity,
I can't
classic.
wait to see it.
I don't know about what people who might not want a slow story, but I do know there's a large percent out there. Particular taste, you're gonna love it. Whatever that taste is, and wherever you at, taste it. Taste
Right.
it. Go ahead and taste it. But when you're ready,
It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Nothing's for everybody.
But I love
There's no
to
such
see,
thing.
But I love to see this intergenerational collaborations.
Yeah. So I think with the tales from the
Nubian
Square,
Yeah.
I think that to me personally, like just now, I tapped into a spiritual moment as I realized I have this new camera.
Black magic.
You've been sporting it too.
Yeah,
I'm ready to take a
I brung it
picture.
like a chain. I really just like I'm gonna
ready.
wear my gold chain today. That's was the
So this your
magnitude.
chain?
That
Okay.
was my gold chain today.
This
You
your
know,
Jesus
I ain't
piece.
shooting anything. You don't see me doing anything with it, right?
Right.
But I said I'm gonna wear my gold chain. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
part of the
It is
brand.
becoming
It's
you.
part of the brand.
It has to become you. I'm
That's
just a
what
part
I
of
was
you.
on. You know what I'm saying?
I would do the same
Pardon
thing.
me. I mean, it's a $5,000 gold chain. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
No
right.
diamonds. You know what I'm saying? The diamond is a different strategy.
The diamonds
Right.
is what comes out of it.
Exactly. So
That's the
So
footage.
as I got this gold chain on and I'm kicking it with Daryl, I realized that as he told me this story about Nubian Square, to give me some credit tapped myself on the back. I said, if you really can just close your eyes and you really can tap into the story, you're gonna be able to help them. You see me? Because you're loaded right now. Hear me out. I'm Biggie Smalls that never released the album in the writing world, right? Check me out. And then they burnt on top of that. Studies, strategies, but that's okay. I know the characters, I know I know what I was all doing, so I can implicate all kind of strategies. Not to mention those 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Hold up, times 2, those 20,000 hours, times whatever. You see me? 100,000 hours. I know those hours was my training days, and I know you're not going to take those.
That's
you see me? And you're not going to get those. I'm at 48. Jesus was 33. Malcolm X was 33. I did 5-year bid. Did a lot of yoga. I'm about 3 years off schedule. That's cool. You see me? All right, I'm gonna stop right there.
Calculations.
Before we wrap up,
Life into the cup. Bye.
before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to plug or even like talk about regarding?
Now I want to focus on what's the future in the Nubian Square.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm gonna focus on. Into the Jungle. We're gonna do advertisement. I got uncles. I got best friends who ain't watched it and whatever. And I said, cool. But I also got strangers or enemies that reach out. You see me? So you get to understand. I get to live analytics. I had one of my artists, and I'm not talking about you, sweetie, so don't be mad. And I'm not gonna say her name. But she said she tried to bluff me. She was like, "And those views," and I said, "Well, according to analytics, what you're saying is a little inaccurate." She actually had the nerve to come back and say, "Well, I was just talking anyway." And it just, I said, "I know, because according to analytics, like those, you know what I mean? Because it's a study, you know what I'm saying? So as we advertise, we're going to get into the jungle there one day, and I'm not worried about that. And I feel like the new bag and the new wave and the new message is going to help me get there from an advertising perspective, so I'm not even worried. You know what I mean? It's not a blockbuster. It's not blockbusters. You know what I mean? This is our life.
Yeah.
You heard? So we give it to you when we want to give it to you the way we're going to give it to you. And it's gonna get dark. I want to get to Kansas, right? Daryl's in Kansas. Daryl's in the Philippines. Daryl is in New York right now. I know Daryl's in New York right now.
Yeah.
All right? I'm looking at the New York stories. They got some good ones. They don't have this one. You see me? So this is what makes us who we are, and
unique.
Kudos to everybody else with their story, because they be great too. And I'm like, wow, there's a good message everywhere. I just wanted to tell ours this way. Boston this way, the dark, the deceptive, the streets, the eeriness. Yeah. You know what I mean? The intelligence, but we don't do nothing with it. You heard? The colleges, but we don't do nothing with it. That's all I'm saying. We don't have none of these benefits. So I want you to understand that's a jungle right there. It's not necessarily guns and drugs.
Yeah.
Right.
You see me? It's a psychological jungle.
Right.
One more time, give us a YouTube channel name and then also the title of the film.
So the YouTube, all you got to do is this. You go to YouTube. You're on YouTube, right? You see the little circle that says search. You go into search. You type in Into the Jungle. I should come up there first, Into the Jungle, or second, because Guns N' Roses is also in the jungle too.
Okay.
You get me? But we're right there with Guns N' Roses with no advertisement. You know what I mean? He's probably got millions of followers and views. You see me?
So this right here, it's just look at it's Enter the Jungle movie by Kenneth Wynn.
Yeah.
But what's so good? What's so good on the search? Just start the enter, the, and then by the time you get the JU,
it'll pop up.
Yeah.
Any other socials that you like to plug?
Don't do that to me, because you know what I'm saying? I don't even, nobody fuck with me. I don't fuck with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I only pretend to be. But the one thing I do want to plug is the movie Frosty from my man Quentin Lewis. Okay. Now, he's been somebody that helps me get this far in film. So I can just imagine where his movie's going to be. He's a very noble guy. And our greatness is gonna all be seen, in the near future. So
Hell yeah.
Is it Leuis or Louis? Quentin.
Quentin,
Quentin
Lewis.
Lew.
Lewis.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Quentin Lewis,
Okay.
Frosty. So
Yes.
it'll be released in August. You should see it. I just want to say kudos to my big bro.
Hell yeah. On that note,
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm plugging
Oh,
in. Yeah, and also shout out to all the people who are a part of the movie who we lost. We lost Don Hazel. R.P. Don Hazel.
ooh,
R.P. Draco. R.P.
Draco.
His father too. He's also in the
My
movie.
dad passed. He's
Yeah.
playing the cop.
condolences, man.
Yeah. So yeah, but also shout out to Renata Huggins. Shout out to Pam. Shout out to also Daryl.
Yourself?
No, remember the
Oh,
other
his
Darren.
name-
Oh yeah, no,
Darren.
Darren. Yeah, shout out to Darren too. Shout out to DJ
I thought you were
K
doing the
Solo.
third person thing on that.
Right?
Shout out to Darren.
Yo, that was crazy because I thought that his name was Daryl too at first. I'm like, wait, you Daryl too?
Yeah, his name's Darren Miller.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Boston. And he played the cop.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting for y'all to know that most of the movie was done, and I had to actually, from a guerrilla standpoint, just write the cop scene in there. So I just wrote it's I would never guerrilla another movie in my life. Just for this point, as a writer, I'm able to tap into so many different dynamics. I don't want to deny myself such flexibility of being prepared.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's all I want to say.
That's all he wanted to say.
Most, were you gonna shout anybody else out? Because if
Oh
not,
yeah, also, shout out K Watch. She's also in the
Yeah,
film too.
gonna do
She was
that.
here before, but yeah.
Let's talk
Shout out
about
to
K
her.
Watts, just in case you get her on here, because she's a dope character. So we had to kill K Watts, right?
Why are you spoiling it, man?
You said we had to kill KY.
So you want to know why we had to kill her, right? Because just to show you the art, we wasn't able to get back up with her for whatever reason it was. So I loved her delivery though in her film. You
Yeah.
see me? And just to give y'all another personal, because I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I also, when I bought the oh man, I don't want to say this, but when I bought that camera and that film, that thing, I also picked up a drug case. So as I was shooting the movie, I was on my way to jail.
Whoa.
oh,
I went to jail.
You got a crazy story, but we didn't even really get into.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't care. I got nothing to hide. I don't,
I
you know,
feel
son. You can have like 10,000 people ask a question, and I'll come back and answer them. You heard everything I love.
oh yeah.
So if you thought you knew something about me, tap at them. So you want to get back at me, we can have a little war of words. You know what I'm saying? See how it work out.
Sounds good.
But it wouldn't be like clowning each other. I'm gonna come at you like if we was in a rap battle and you said something personal. I'm gonna tap into some of our scientifics of what's going on with us to get back at you. I ain't gonna even clown you back. You see me? I wouldn't even feed into the negativity because I'll try to figure out something doper.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, so if you
You
call
gonna
me
go
a
higher.
bastard that used you, they'll get in the goddamn movie and then fuck with you no more. If you say stuff like that, I got way powerful more stuff because that's not the truth. But say it.
Most, plug in your social so anyone who wants to hit you up for Tales of Nubian Square.
Oh yes, absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram. That's _the generous one. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. That's most generous. That's MOS GENEROUS. You can also find me on all platforms as well. Forgot to bring this too. I'm also a part of a music group called The Groovement. We just dropped an album called Gyces. We dropped it on 420, so it's still doing numbers, and so definitely look that album up. And yeah.
Trying to wrap us up, Greg?
Yes, that was amazing. That was an amazing episode. Yeah. I'm still a little drunk from all this information.
Not real drunk, just
Not really drunk.
Oh yeah.
It was a lot. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, I feel like a writer is like my most, for me personally, my most respected discipline that I look up to writers and storytellers, because I feel like they really are one and the same. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I know I did. We will leave a link to the video in the description box. I will make sure because I definitely want to see it and I want other people to see it too.
I'm gonna tag you in the chat.
Please. I would love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But that's it for this episode of Show and Tell After Dark, y'all. Thank you for me and the family. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Yes.
Talking to my gum again.
Yes.
Oh, you gonna put it?
I love saving gum for later.
Woo.
Hell yeah.
I love saving
Motherfucker.
gum for later.
Thank you for staying coordinated. I like how you got back to different subjects.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Hey man.
Kudos.
I heard of this story of this guy who was like a well-known writer, and he had a fire at his house too. I don't know how long ago it was, but I feel like when people have something so big or great happen to them like that, it's just, it makes your personal story better. It just makes your testimony better.
Bro, it was so crazy. I was around the corner.
That's what Shane said.
He called me. He was like, yo, bro. I'm like, yo, what's
That's what
up,
he
Snow?
said.
Yeah, I seen smoke outside my window. I ran outside. I seen this man on top of the roof with like.
And it was his house. It was his, I'm like, I'm like, bro, I was talking like, nah, there's shea paper in the house. I said, nah.
On top of the roof, blood on his arm.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Fire.
Man.
That was you?
Yeah.
Top of the roof.
And yo, I wanted to try and get back in there so I could get my shit. Like it was so collaborated. You trying to figure out where was something that you can impactually dive through a fire and get, and you say, nah, that gonna happen.
It wasn't worth it.
It
It just wasn't worth it. It was too much.
Too hot. It was too hot. Like I first I went back in for some neighbors because so what was crazy is the landlord was behind the house screaming. So I thought somebody was in the house screaming. So that made me go back into the try to say, yo, where you at? Get out of there. You know, that type of thing. So we was bugging for a minute. So then the last thing I thought, oh my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so I went to peek in the room to see if I could get, I'm talking about
So you went
all
out the
kind
window
of shit.
because
When you lose so much shit, you don't even know what to think of no more.
Wait a minute, so
what to
you
say?
were-
Who to say?
so
What
like-
baby?
so
What
like
baby
you were-
you say?
So like you were on the roof because you went through the window.
Huh? Yeah. But then I went back up through the stairs again.
So why were you on the roof?
Because the window's like a roof window connected to it.
You
Was it
couldn't
like the
use
attic?
stairs?
No, that's what I was. Yeah, I used the stairs. Yeah, I did use the stairs.
No, wait, because inside the house.
At first, I didn't know I could use the stairs. So when I broke the window, you can see underneath the smoke a little bit.
Oh, that's why your arm was bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm trying to put two and two together. Like, wasn't there,
Okay,
like,
I'm
wasn't there
done.
stairs? What the hell are you on the roof for?
No, the roof part. That I don't know who seen the roof.
Me.
Yeah.
I seen you climbing down on top of the house.
He
Yeah,
called
yeah,
me.
that was- yeah.
I was in the crib because I remember I said, "Yo, I'm gonna come through around 2:00." I remember 2:00 passed. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" Then that's when I smelled something. I'm like, then Jane called me. He's like, "Yo, come outside. Shea Paper's house is on fire." I'm like,
My aunt was like, "That was you on the news."
no.
I was smelling the smoke.
It's like this.
Yo,
I pulled out the
yo,
marshmallows.
that's like 3 helicopters flying over neighborhood.
I said, "You had marshmallows?" She said, "Yeah, I had the marshmallows."
Auntie
caused
petty
the
as
fire?
hell for that.
What caused the fire?
They said it was electricity when I read the police
That's
report.
crazy, man. That's
Because
crazy.
I really wasn't sure. It was a lot of spooky things that happened
Like, you
around
really
the
could
same time.
have been done. You really could have been done.
Absolutely not.
That's
Not even
crazy.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, that shit was going. I mean, I don't know what smoke could have did after, but the fire it was going to kill
I mean,
me.
I saw
was-
the room before they took you, bro.
So you weren't even in the house?
No, I was sleeping.
Oh.
You was asleep.
And you just ran out at the.
I woke up and it was fire and smoke.
That's the worst way to wake up.
Yeah, because I had a dream. But now the fucked up dream ain't dying in fire, it's getting your shit back. That's the fucked up dream. You know, so imagine Daryl like, yo, bro, it's right here. Your computers, everything's good. Come on, check it out. And you see it.
You know what's funny? I still had his script. I still had his script.
And he just gave me the only script that didn't burn.
I definitely had a dream that something that I lost.
It's called If Only.
Wow.
I definitely had a
If
dream.
only
where I
if my
recovered
Lonely
something I
Reds
lost.
was my
Bro,
Angry
that's-
Blues.
I'm telling you,
Ooh, I like that.
if I show you the
I ain't gonna
house
even
right
fuck
now,
with you. See, I
pieces.
that's the opening. I ain't gonna even do that to you. You know what I'm saying? If only.
I need you to write my Instagram caption for me from now on. Write my captions.
If only.
If only.
Yeah, so If Only is about kids that was born underground.
Oh, don't say that.
So it's kind of like us.
What
It's
you
kinda
mean?
like
What you mean
us.
underground?
It's kind of like us.
So they this is I wrote this before Corona, mind you. This is an epidemic happened with something with radiation. So the army made us evacuate and go underground. So Darrow, let's say if his name's Chewie in the movie, so Chewie, because he chewed late at night as a baby, and that's how he got the name in the tunnels. But anyway, we ain't gonna get to there yet. So Chewie was born underground. So there's a group of kids that was born underground, and they're going to school. So I wanted to reduce Michelle Pfeiffer, but instead of that old same thing, they're going to school to live in space. Because they have to eventually evacuate the Earth. You have to be a certain age to do so. Because you got to survive with 40 years in space. I ain't gonna
How do you come up with these concepts?
outlining
baby.
as a
But
writer.
like how? But how did you get a story about radiation?
You gotta have an imagination.
Where does your imagination
I
come
try to
from?
write
Think
to the
about
point.
Avatar.
Before the Corona came out, I already understand history. So I already wrote for the future.
I gotta get some. I
I
gotta
we already had Black Plagues. We had them all. You see me? We already had rats jumping on ships with diseases and then people bunkering into houses because they didn't know where it was come from and they didn't know the rat lived with
It was
us.
rapid
They-
fire.
They hit themselves with the disease.
Woo! Don't say that
You see
shit.
me?
Don't say that.
Yes. You know what I mean? And it was a purpose stunt.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
very
I
intentional.
already know these things. So when I'm writing these things, I just use my, like he said, imagination.
Yeah, you gotta use your imagination. With music, imagination, writing, imagination.
Just let it grow.
If only.
Wait, Come
Wait, hold on.
on, Sleepy. You sleepy.
And imagination is the only thing in the world that the more you use it, the more it increases.
That's why it's almost a sin to not be connected to your artistic thing, because if we could cut that, if they can cut your artistic drive out, then they could just get you to do, the basics.
A lot of things.
You're not going to create, or architect or design.
Gotta maintain that creativity no matter
Gotcha.
what. And then you lose the creativity, no matter what you make, it ain't gonna feel the
And
same.
guess what? It's connected all to your sense of humor. Just remember, let's study the most miserable people first.
The most miserable people in the world.
If you kind of study them, most of them not into music, but they might be into money, and then they make the money,
True.
but then they don't have nothing else to connect themselves,
True.
so they don't have the balance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at nigga. He's our
Like those people that are like super academic, numbers and zeros, ones and zeros.
Well, you could be super academic as long as you got the balance.
Well, I gotta use the
You gotta have a balance. You can't
That's all.
be. You
That's
can't be
all.
academic. But
Kudos to being super academic. Actually, just make sure you get the balance. Don't be a rocket science and go buy pussy on Blue Hill Ave.
They don't sell pussy on Blue Hill Avenue anymore.
Yeah. No, it's on Julian. You know what I'm saying?
it be the tangiest.
No, I said the side street. No.
Oh yeah, they
Hey,
do.
Shane. I said no, I said Julian. I said it's the side streets now.
But they still sell pussy on
I
Blue
know.
Life.
Dewey Street, yes.
Somebody offered me pussy once on Blue Life, a couple of times.
I was talking to an Uber
Bro, I
driver
wanna
who said that he used to like
Oh,
pick up
yeah.
like prostitutes.
This was
years ago.
Yeah, I don't know why, but he said like
This
he.
is the Uber drive conversation. You just
I've had an Uber driver who said that she's part of Fet Life, which is like a fetish life, and she was talking with the camera, and she was like, yeah, maybe you can film me sometimes getting trained. You know what I mean?
whoa.
Hey, ladies, Ladies, quick little
Obviously, I take Uber way too much.
soiree. Alan, quick little soiree.
Why you crying?
Quick little soiree.
But it was a Haitian dude that told me.
Nah, that's wild, bro. That shit is wild.
Quick little soiree.
That one's like warm now.
Absolutely. I forgot to put it.
Alan, you want to be me so bad with your hair. You want to be me so bad.
Just to look a good night.
Hey, man.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It was a good ass night. Hey,
Anytime we could come together and just, share ideas,
hey,
share experiences.
on the day Haiti got its independence too.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Innocent slaves still.
We gotta do one more time.
What's this?
Just thank for everyone coming
You
together.
want some of this warm water?
Any day we could all
Want
be
some warm
together is a blessed day. Let's just continue doing great things, good things, and everything that's just, pleasing.
That's
The
right.
community and black excellence, man.
Anybody want to say anything?
Yeah.
Ladies, anybody? Anybody with hair on their head?
I am a lady.
I want to say peace to wisdom.
Wisdom.
Wisdom and creativity.
Ooh, creativity.
Oh, creativity.
Spiderweb.
I'll take that.
That's it?
Good job. Let's take a picture, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this little boy
absolutely.
dead.
Yeah, before I had to work.
Oh, you told you gotta go to work. How do you do it? How do you do it?
How do
How
I
do
do
you
it?
stay awake? I would have.
He goes to sleep.
I already called
he
out.
goes to sleep at work.
Yeah, right.
That was the answer.
2 weeks, literally, I wasn't sleeping. 2 weeks.
Seriously? See, I'm
2 weeks, I was not sleeping. I was like,
need my sleep.
like my skin was getting gray. I was just like,
Yeah, you need sleep, man.
I would walk, my knees be popping.
I am a huge advocate for sleep. I don't give a